Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this co-host professional enhancement seminar with the Viterbi Graduate Student Association. This seminar is to provide some soft skills or information from the industry that will help enhance your opportunity in the professional area. And we're really glad today that, different from our usual speaker, we have three proud alumni to come and really talk to us about their own experience, after they graduate and what best to prepare yourself, when you enter that world. And we're also really glad to be co-hosting this with Viterbi Graduate Student Association. I want to especially recognize Candy's effort on, getting all the speakers and make this session possible. So now I'm gonna turn it over to Tanvi and we will proceed with tonight's program.
Thank you, Kathy, for the introduction, and thank you for all your support. And welcome all of you. Welcome all of you to this seminar. And I will briefly introduce now our speakers. First, two of them are alumni of the USC, and one is a current student. So Preeti is our current student, and Sanketi and Sankaradithyan are the graduates of class of 2020. Sankaradithyan has graduated from electrical department, specialization in computer networks, and Sanketi has graduated from electrical general, but her track was basically of networks. Sankaradithya and Preeti is current student in electrical department, and her specialization is in computer networks as well. Sankaradithyan is now working as a network software engineer at Intel. He previously interned in Intel as well, and he worked as a software engineer in Sienna company. Sanketi is now a system engineer at Qualcomm. She also used to work at wireless WIDES, which is wireless and systems devices at USC, led by the professor Andrew Schmolish. And Preeti has interned in NVIDIA this summer, and she will be joining NVIDIA as a software engineer after her graduation. So now I will hand over to Sankaradithyan to start his talk.
Hey all, thanks Tanvi for this introduction. I actually wanted to share my screens with you.
Oh yeah, okay.
Okay. I think there should be a security option there.
Yeah. Kathy, can you make him a co-host?
Okay, give me 1 second.
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks, Kathy.
No problem.
Yeah, so yeah, like Tanvi said, I graduated in electrical engineering, specialized in computer networks. So I'll just keep my introduction brief. So here's what I thought I'll touch on today. Coursework, Leetcode, career fairs, resume, and your LinkedIn profile. Like how to kind of navigate the job application process and like the interview prep, which is like kind of vital in the whole process. So what I felt was like the coursework actually plays a major role in like the kind of industries that you target. So being a computer network specialization student, I think you can take the advantage of like taking 3 CS courses, especially if you're interested in the software field. That actually helps you a lot down the line because you get a lot of programming projects to work on, and you get to dig deep into the technical concepts of programming and stuff. So you should definitely take 3 CS courses if you're specializing in networks. Then there are some courses which are not offered every semester. For example, E542, which is Internet and Cloud Computing, and even CS551, which is like computer networks. So these courses are something that you should target and try to take them up as soon as you can, because you never know if it's offered every semester or not. So it's just better to target them. Then, so this is just a list of courses that I've taken. So if you're interested, you can just grab a screenshot or something of this, so that maybe you can plan your coursework accordingly. So I have a special mention for a course here, which is CSCI 402, which is operating system offered by Computer Science Department. So this course is very important in laying a foundation for probably any work that you do in the industry. So right now, the work that I do heavily involves the concepts that I had taken in operating systems. So I would definitely recommend taking that course as soon as you can, because yeah, like you'll, first thing is you learn a lot. It will help you a lot for your interviews, and also that's basically your bread and butter in a computer networks kind of a job in the industry. So that's definitely one course you should take. CS551 is again another good course which dives deeper into the networking concepts, which is again something that I'm using on a day-to-day basis here. So yeah, I just wanted to mention these two courses. Uh, then comes the Leetcode part of it. So this is really important because day by day, most companies are actually interested in asking you coding questions, like in almost every interview that you come across, like every round of the interview. So what I did was I targeted like a couple of questions per day, but I thought it should be a little more. So maybe start with 3 questions and then increase day by day. That should help you gain an advantage on like the others, like peers that who are also preparing for Leetcode. So I would recommend getting a premium subscription, because you get a company-wide insight on which questions are frequently asked by which companies. So that will help you gain an edge over the others. And I know as a student, it's not easy to manage budget. So you can definitely share a single account among multiple people. So, and uh, like having multiple sessions helps, because there's a feature in Leetcode where you can have multiple sessions within a single account, which will help you track progress individually. So I thought I should mention these pointers because I'm not sure if everyone is aware of these. So yeah. And so this is my 3-step process for any career fair or any event or any virtual event, especially now that everything is virtual. What I feel is that first thing is you should get to know more about the role, because like knowing the role and the team matters a lot, because sometimes what happens is you keep talking about what you know and the person in front of you doesn't know exactly what you're talking about, because he's not at all related to the field that you're interested in. So I would highly recommend getting to know the role first and the team. And the next step would be to network with recruiters, and not just the recruiters, the engineers as well, because they are the people who are actually doing the work. For you to get better insight on what work they're doing, it goes without saying that you should talk with both. And when you talk, make sure you get to know how to reach out to them. So that brings us to the third step, which is like definitely reaching out to them either via LinkedIn or via email. So depending on how well you bonded, you'll get either of these. It'll either be a LinkedIn account or an email. So I would definitely recommend reaching out to them after the event, because that will set you apart from like the hundreds of students that they meet in a day, because at least they'll have a record that okay, I met you at USC. So that does help. So when I was in my third semester, so that was the fall career fair, uh, I got around 7 to 8 interviews, just based on how well I spoke with the recruiters, engineers, and how well I reached out to them. So sometimes I know it feels like, okay, career fairs, you just have to stand in line the whole day. But if you plan well, look for like target companies and like follow your plan, it definitely helps a lot. Then comes your resume. So you should definitely update your resume and your LinkedIn like quite frequently. So what I used to do was, let's say I complete a project or an assignment, I immediately put it on my resume. If like it should be a good enough project first thing, and then it should definitely add to your profile. So if you follow both this and update it frequently, it helps a lot. Another like insider info what I felt was the job description does matter a lot. If it goes hand in hand with your resume, it like actually adds value to your resume or your profile. So what you should do is look into the job description, and if you think you have similar skill set, uh, like the phrasing of your resume should be as per what's there in the job description. It does help a lot that way. And try to keep your resume as simple as possible. No fancy formatting, lines, borders is not required. You can just stick to a simple format which just has content in it, and make sure to use each line in your resume as like well as possible, because every line matters in this case. Then coming to the job application part of it, so for me, I so all the internships and my full time I got through online applications. So it somehow has worked for me all the way. Like starting from my first internship, my co-op, as well as the full time, I got it through online applications. It doesn't apply for everyone. So what I feel is that you should stick to the way that works well for you. So if you think a particular method, so let's say you're reaching out to LinkedIn, let's say career fairs, or getting referrals from people you know in the industry. So these are some methods that you can try out, and definitely you should try out all these methods. And if you feel that a specific method is working well for you, uh, I would say apply more in that specific method, but don't stop applying in the others. Especially if you think that online application doesn't work, because a lot of people do say that. At least in my case, it did work. So yeah, don't stop. And one thing is, definitely look for internships and co-ops, because a lot of employers look for internship experience, especially in US, and that goes a long way in like at least getting an interview call. So yeah, it should help you in securing interview calls, at least if you have an internship experience. So definitely don't stop applying for internships. And there's never a right time to apply per se, because I remember when I came in my first semester, I was like, okay, I don't have anything on my resume. So should I really apply for jobs or not? But then that's not how it is. Many people looking for internships are in the same boat as we are. So you should just go out there and apply. It definitely does help. The sooner you start, the better. Then let's go to the interview prep, which I think is the most important part of it. So my plan was to always take down notes of all coursework materials that I have, and also any online material that I've gone through. Because what happens is, when it comes down to the 12th hour, like the 11th hour of an interview, you don't have much time to go online, look into your like the whole bunch of coursework that you have. So taking down notes does help a lot here, because you can just skim through the notes that you take. And since you've already studied from those notes, it will be easier for you to revise like at the last moment. So you should definitely take down notes. Then, so the second point that I've mentioned here, it's quite interesting, because I did notice a big difference here, is that scheduling an interview as early as possible, like when you get an interview call, does help a lot. So because what happens is, there are hundreds of others who are there in the interview pipeline just as you are. And let's say a candidate is like a good candidate is found early, they'll obviously not interview the others. So it's always better to try to interview, like try to get that interview scheduled as soon as possible. And for this, you'll obviously have to be prepared. So that's where my first point comes in, that if you have notes, you'll be prepared, then you can go confidently into an interview. And don't be afraid to schedule multiple interviews, probably in the same day or in the same week. You'll There'll be a time where you'll have a lot of stuff to like cover, and then don't be afraid. Definitely follow the first step. It'll help you be able to be confident enough for your multiple interviews, even if you have them on the same day. And one vital thing that I observed was always like, don't forget to ask good questions at the end, especially if those questions are pertaining to any conversation that you had during the interview, because that tells the interviewer that okay, this person is actually interested in what I'm trying to say, and he's trying to process that and also come up with good questions. So that goes a long way in like putting in that good impression. So definitely do that, and also at the same time make sure to communicate well, and yeah, present yourself well during the interview. And like, one thing I just wanted to mention is that a lot of times what happens is the questions that they ask in an interview is a lot related to the work that you'll be doing when you are in the company. So getting to know about the role and the team, like in the initial interview calls itself, helps a lot, because that gives you a focused approach towards the future interview rounds. So make sure to do that. So I think that's all from my end. Uh, this is my LinkedIn if anyone wants to reach out, and I also have put my email. Thanks.
Thank you, Sankaradithyan. That was a great presentation. Now I'll ask Sanketi to talk and to present her talk.
Hi, Tanvi. Thank you for the introduction.
Yeah.
Okay, hello everyone. So I would like to begin with the courses at USC. So my major focus was on wireless networks, and I had chosen courses accordingly, like wireless communications, wireless networks, computer networks, and yeah, and the most interesting course was operating systems 402. And like as Shankar mentioned, it's like really very helpful from industry perspective. And so yeah, during my coursework, I was lucky enough to get an opportunity to work under Professor Molish at his lab, Wireless Devices and Systems Lab. That lab provided me an hands-on experience with hardware. Like, since I have background for hardware and software as well, it was really important to have that touch. Important thing I would like to suggest everyone is, since you are in student phase and you might have taken courses, you might be attending TA sessions and all. Important thing is, be in touch with your professor, ask him whatever doubts you have, and talk with your peers, and try to learn as much as you can at this stage, because it's really important. After you join a company, you get very less time, I believe, to master on your skills. At that time, it's actually where you can present your skills. So utilize this time for studying as good as you can. Also, our professors at USC, I remember Professor Zahid Ali and Professor Molish as well. They used to like reply at any point of time. So they are always available for students. So please take opportunity and talk to your professors. Now let me move towards other point. Okay, so while choosing the courses, I always used to have, like, I have 1 credit left, especially for EC department, since we don't have four credit courses. So I used to choose DR as my 1 credit, and that helped me a lot, because I got a lot of experience by working under professors. And yeah, so that's it. Next important thing I would like to talk on is networking with people. And it's very, very important to network with people to if you want to end up getting a good job. And so now it's I believe it's more easy, because to set up a virtual coffee chat or talk with any of your seniors, or any person you're trying to reach out to, it's really easy. So like by hook or crook, just keep networking, contact people on LinkedIn, email them, like find out your ways, but like keep this thing going on. I would like to share one experience with you guys. So I remember Qualcomm had visited USC during one event. And at that time, I visited that event. After a week, I got, so one of the recruiters contacted me on LinkedIn. And it was for the QSA event organized by Qualcomm. It's Student Accelerator event. They had called us for 4 weeks at San Diego, and like I attended multiple sessions, and one of the sessions was resume review session, and I was like, I'm here for the interview, and they're giving me a resume review session. I was like, what's this? But trust me, it was so good session that like they told do's and don'ts. It helped a lot. And after that, one thing that I was not doing earlier was I started going to Viterbi Career Center, and I took multiple resume review sessions with them. So after that, I was getting many calls from many companies, and so I would suggest you guys, you do it from now itself. You can book appointments and have your resumes reviewed. It's really important to draft your resume in a very good manner. As Shankar explained us, like given really good, he had given really good session on it. So yeah, I think I have, like that's it. I have this, I hope this is helpful to everyone. And you can reach me out on LinkedIn whenever you feel. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanketi. That was very helpful. And thank you for your tips. Now I'll ask Preeti to share her talk with us.
Hey everyone, my name is Preeti. I'm currently doing my master's at USC in computer engineering, and I'm in my networks track. So before starting my master's, I was working as a network engineer in AT&T. Excuse me. So that's how my networking career began. And I also interned at AT&T, and that entire work experience actually pushed me and helped me pursue my master's in networking. I'm in my 3rd semester right now. Because of that, I got my CCNA certification also done, hoping it will give me an edge over my peers. So my master's at USA, it was very nerve-wracking because I didn't know that. I thought I came here expecting I'll be applying for network engineer jobs, but that was not the case. There are very less network roles. And when I got to know that I have to apply for software engineer jobs, I was like, what? There are so many computer science students and I'm not even good at coding. How am I going to keep up with them? It was too much pressure, I would say. So, but don't worry, though you're applying for software engineer roles, make sure you're letting them know that you're applying for software network roles and not just normal software engineering roles. So yeah, and I met NVIDIA at USC Career Fair. I've heard multiple mixed reviews about career fairs, but somehow career fairs worked for me. I got a lot of callbacks from career fair. I felt that it was a very good opportunity for me to express my interest in networking, which I would not be able to if applied online. So it was very good. And I was happy that I was getting callbacks. And I think my work experience played a role because they knew, okay, that too, if any of you have relevant work experience, please showcase it. It's going to play a role in getting callbacks and getting interviews. So I met NVIDIA at the career fair, the fall 2019 career fair. There were very huge lines. I didn't even expect that, I'll get a call back. Why will I? There are so many people, and I knew everybody's smart from USC. You are in USC, you are smart. So it was very nerve-wracking. But then after a month from the career fair, I got a call back. two teams from NVIDIA wanted to interview, two different teams. Both the teams had the first phone round scheduled on the same day. I was nervous. I didn't do well in the first round because I was very nervous, but I did ask the interviewer questions and feedback about how the interview went. I took those feedback and I implemented it in the second round with my manager, and I did well. The interview was very well. I was very comfortable talking to my manager, and I got good reviews. There was second phone round. So usually there will be around 2 to 3 phone rounds for internship, about 45 to 1 hour. So yeah, the interview went well, and approximately the entire process of meeting NVIDIA at the career fair till I got my offer letter, it took about 3 months. By November end, I had my offer letter for summer internship. Aditya, he has already mentioned about all the courses that you have to take. I have taken the exact courses as he has. So just follow that. As soon as I came to USC, I knew who are my networking seniors. I met them. Everybody gave me the same list, and I'm just shuffling them around, and it's the same list you have to follow. Yeah, and internship was, my team is actually working on quality of service on GeForce Now, which is NVIDIA's cloud gaming platform. I just knew few concepts about quality of service from EE 555 by Professor Ali Zahid, but I didn't know anything about quality of service. So I was very intrigued to see what my project is going to be, but my project was completely related to networking. I was asked to design a network emulator to push real world traffic onto it. I don't want to go in depth. Please feel free to talk to me if you want to know in depth about it, but it was complete hardcore networking, and not what full-time employees were doing. So what they do is, some companies, they might give you what full-time employees are working on, or they might give you a standalone project. Mine was a research project. They wanted me to start something, and I know for sure they won't be giving me the same thing after I join also. It'll be another intern's job. So it's like that. It's not a priority, but they want to get that work done. So that was one of my job. I want to give some tips to you guys when you start interning, how you want to get that converted to full time. There was this 5-week review that NVIDIA had. You have to share your experience, how your internship is going so far, what your manager thinks about your internship. So I got good reviews from my manager, and I think just before 3 weeks of the end of my internship, uh, I spoke to my mentor. Even my mentor was intern converted to full time. I told him that even I'm interested to continue my employment. What are the tips? He told me that I should go ahead and ask my manager. In few companies, however your performance is rewarded on the basis of what your mentor thinks, what your manager thinks, what your entire team thinks. But at NVIDIA, whatever my manager said was the last thing. Nobody could question it. So it was very important to impress the manager. Mentor was just like a colleague, and he didn't put any pressure on me. It was all manager who wanted the work done, and to whom you were supposed to show the results. So when I expressed my interest, I got good feedback from my manager, and he finally, at last week of the internship, he came with an offer. What I would suggest is, don't push asking for full time till the end of the internship. Please start it way ahead so that they know that both of you are on the same page. What they want is this. They want you to come back. That's why they are investing so much time and money on you. So make sure you perform well, work as much as you can, because this internship is going to be a 3-month interview. They're judging you each and every step of the way, the decision making, how you're interacting with the team. All these factors are very important, and confidence, very important. No, it's okay even if you don't know whatever they are throwing you at. Just, you should be enthusiastic to learn new things. Everybody can't know everything. They just want to see how passionate you are about what you're doing, and how you can get the work done. And that's the real thing that you have to show. And I got it's better to start off asking, and talking more about your productivity. Am I performing up to the mark? Is there any room for improvement? All these factors are going to show that you are not shy of your mistakes, and you are ready to improve. So I think these played a very, very big role. And this semester I've taken 542 and wireless networks. 542, I wish I had taken 542 before, because everything I did in my internship, most of the things professor is teaching in 542. So it's a very good subject. And obviously 402 was also very nice. So yeah, that's my overall experience of my journey in USC, and a semester and a half to go. Yeah. So yeah, please feel free to contact me on LinkedIn, Preeti M. Sobrad, and my USC ID is sobrad@USC. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Preeti, for your talk. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask through the chat window, or even you can unmute your mic and ask the questions.
Hi, I actually have a question. I mean, I'm not looking for a job. I'm not a master's student. I already graduated a long time ago. But from my position at the Minshue Institute, working with a lot of students, talking with a lot of students, we hear a lot of students, like I think Sanketi mentioned, that going to the career fair, there's like so many people in line. Would it help if like the career fair is actually designed or tailored to a specific department? Like, let's say ECE, we just gather people that are hiring for electrical engineering, and then computer science, we just recruit a group of company that are recruiting, that are hiring for computer science. Like, would that help? Or actually going to a big career fair opens up more opportunity for the candidates or the students? Like, if any one of you have any thoughts, like, feel free to chime in.
Yeah, so Kathy, actually one thing that I did feel was, like you mentioned, since there are a lot of companies there, I mean, usually there are long lines and then students have to just wait the whole day. So, so there was this one possible line of thought that I had was, you can maybe group the companies based on which specialization candidates they are exactly looking for. So if the companies have an idea of, like, let's say there are 5 engineers coming in, and 5 of those engineers are looking for specific candidates who are specializing in specific fields. So if something like that is there, then you can probably group together the students and the companies, and then that way there can be like a better interaction of the students who are actually interested in the role that they are looking for. Because most of the times what I noticed, what happens is that, let's say you go to some X company where, so me as a computer networks candidate, I would be targeting roles which are specific to computer networks. But let's say I go to X company where, even though they are a computer networks company, but they're not really hiring for a computer networks role. But then I waste my time, stand in the whole line, and then when I actually get to the starting point, that's when I realize that they're not even hiring for the role that I'm looking for. So maybe if some clarity is there on that level, it could simplify like the process. I know it's a big thing to ask, because that can involve a lot of things from the company's perspective as well, like not just the college's perspective. So, but yeah, maybe this is something that can be explored.
I see. That's a great feedback for a lot of things that we might be able to modify or tailor to you guys better in the future.
Yeah. I guess we answered all the questions. No one has any questions.
Yeah, I think the group we have today are just very prepared already. I was like, we have no questions.
You guys can ask about subjects that you have taken. We can have a discussion about, what you can expect from the courses you want to take. Even that we can, yeah.
Hi guys, I have a question.
Yeah.
So I wanted to know, like you guys said that you should apply for network roles, OS roles. So suppose a company has put up software engineer intern, OS engineer, OS intern, and networks intern. If I apply for all the three positions, the first position I get reject for is either network engineer or operating system engineer, and but that doesn't happen with software engineer. Whereas my profile, I feel, is better suited for that. I'm not able to figure out why does that happen. First reject I get is for those roles. Then companies consider for software engineer.
Okay, so I'm not sure like whether the first reject counts as like a first reject, because sometimes what happens is some rejects are like automated. Like your resume goes through a system called ATS, which is like kind of like an automated system which narrows, like filters the resumes basically. So if you think that you're getting rejects like at a periodic interval, let's say you apply today, you're getting a reject tomorrow. Again, same thing, you apply for a different role, you're getting a reject within a day or two. So there's a very high chance that it could be an automated reject that you're getting. So in that case, what I'd recommend is try like polishing your resume. Uh, Maybe the formatting, or yeah, maybe it's not able to catch the right keywords. Because if you feel that a specific role that you're applying for is targeted based on your resume, then it should definitely work. So you can probably like have a resume review session and then like take a look at what it's doing. I think you can use this. There's this VMock software, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
That is like, that's more of formatting based. It doesn't
Correct.
actually
Yeah.
like give you a score or based on your skills.
Yeah, it'll at least tell you whether your content is good or not. So if you have your like your specific networking or operating system content in your resume, then you can probably put it through VMock to just get an idea whether what you've written is right or not. So yeah, this is just something that you can explore, because what happens is you never exactly know what a company is looking for sometimes. So you just have to trust your gut in some places.
Yeah, I also have a suggestion. How I started prepping my resume was I didn't know what's the right thing to put on networking resume. So first thing I did was I saw all the alumni from USC who have done something in networking. I went and I saw their resume. They would have posted it in their LinkedIn profile. I took screenshots. I think when I was preparing my resume, I had some 30-50 screenshots of different resume, just to see what's right, what is the right thing to put, what is in the demand. See, 10 people, they have done the same project. Everybody from USC, we do socket programming in 450. But what matters is how are you expressing it? How is this resume different from that resume? Because even I'm from networks, even Aditya is from networks. We are all from networks. Why is my resume standing out? Why is his standing out? So take bits and pieces from all these resumes and try to club and make it your own. And I feel that it actually worked, especially the skills and tools. Oh yeah, I have done TCP/IP, I've done SSH. I just forgot to put it in my resume, but I saw this resume, they have mentioned everything. You know what, even I've done that. So whatever feels that you have done it, it, put it, and make sure you know each and everything that you have put in your resume. That is one important thing, because uh, I had done this project related to image processing in my undergrad and something, and that was there in my resume, and I got call back from Qualcomm image processing. I just didn't know what to say. So make sure that's when it hit me. I'm like, this is wrong. This is completely wrong. So I refined my resume and I put only the things I know. So that's the suggestion I would give. Just skim through all the resumes you have, or ask your seniors. They'll be very happy to give you, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the suggestion.
Thank you, Yash, for your question, and thank you, speakers. I have a question. Like, system engineer's position differs from a company to company. So, like, then how would students know about like which company to go? Like, go to every company's website and check their portal, or is there any suggestion to know about these roles?
I think job description is the key to like tell you what exactly they're expecting, because like trust me, even I was confused with the same question when I was looking out for the jobs. But then yeah, I used to read a job description, like I used to take a lot of time to read it and understand exactly what they're expecting, and then trying to look if my resume like matches to that or not.
Just to add on to that, what you can do is maybe, let's say you find a system engineer position in Qualcomm. What you can do is look for a system engineer working in Qualcomm and maybe reach out to them via LinkedIn. Let's say a USC alumni. So in this case, Sanketi, she is a system engineer. So she'll probably be able to give you a better idea about what work she does. Similarly, I think even Amazon has system development engineer positions. So you can look for someone, a USC alumni maybe, who is a system development engineer in Amazon, and then reach out to them. I'm sure like people will respond, because uh, at least if I see a USC like a student who's reaching out to me with any question, I do respond. So I'm pretty sure everyone has that uh, soft corner for their school. So yeah, that's something we can definitely do as well. Like job description is first, like Sanketi said, then you can reach out to people on LinkedIn.
One thing I would like to add on this is like do reach out to your alumni on LinkedIn because they help you. And I would like to tell you that I met Sankaradithyan through LinkedIn. I just randomly searched networks USC and I found him and I messaged him. And he was really supportive since at the start of my master's, and he has helped me a lot to select courses and all. So yeah, do reach out to your seniors, they will surely help you. I see one question here from Ziad. Sorry if I have pronounced it wrong. It's it says, would you mind talking about the difference of gender in tech related job searching? More specifically, would not choosing gender better than choosing male?
Mm, I don't think I'm the right person to answer this question because, like, honestly, uh, that's been a mystery to me as well. I didn't really bother not choosing gender. I always chose male. I'm not sure uh, how this criteria actually works.
Yeah,
Um,
even I have never not chosen anything. I just go for yeah. No, I'm not sure, but I think it's okay. I don't think there is any sort of gender discrimination. All the companies, they hire equally. They do have a head count that yes, we need these number of females, but yes, they hire males also. I don't think that sort of, it's very rare. It's very rare, especially in the big companies. It's very rare. So I would say go for it. Yeah.
So I actually have a question for all three of you. After you do the career fair, after you've done your networking, after you've done your resume, everything is set. You got an interview. How do you prepare for the interview? Like, do you have to because I know a lot of your jobs has actually technical interview, like they will actually give you a test or a problem to solve. So how do you actually prepare for that? And I guess we can start with, looking at the screen on mine, we can start with Sanketi.
Okay, sure. So I can share my experience, how I went through. So when I got to know I had an interview, first of all, I did was like 2 to 3 days. I had short duration to prepare for the interview. So 1 or 2 days I took to prepare all my technical details, all coursework and everything. Parallelly, I was also talking to my peers, my friends. I and most important thing apart from covering your coursework, I believe, is to cover your resume. You need to know every single word that you have put in your resume. You should be aware of it. So I prepared my resume well. I had asked my friends to interview me like just to be prepared, because it was my first interview and I was nervous. So like I didn't want to sound awkward in front of interviewers. So that helped me a lot. um, I had also planned to take mock interviews, but unfortunately I didn't get that chance. um, but I would recommend, if somebody has time, you can take mock interviews from we have one available at USC Career Center, I guess. And yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, thank you. What about you, Preeti?
Yes, so when I'm done with all my resume, I've prepared everything, but the only motivation that I will get to sit and study for interview is to get a call back. So that's when I actually studied a lot, especially when I got NVIDIA's. I interviewed with Cisco, but I didn't get selected. So there were a lot of rejects in between that. And even, yeah, there were a lot of rejects. But finally, when I got NVIDIA callback, I thought, you know what, this is it. I have to crack it. So when push comes to shove, that's when I sat and I did it. I knew my networking basics were strong, so which might be enough to convince the interviewer that I'm good at networking, but I had to prepare a lot on my coding skills. And that's the 90% of my time I spent on coding and preparing all the different concepts, linked list, arrays, all those basics. You might think you know basics, but no, they will come up with something else that you have no idea. Only on the day of my interview, I actually sat and studied about networking. So yeah, it you should try to figure out what are your plus points and what you lack at, and prepare accordingly. And with that, you have to be very calm and peaceful, because confidence is the key. Even if you don't know something, just in your voice they can know that yes, they genuinely don't know, but they're willing to give an attempt and go for it. So I would say confidence, peace, calm, and sleep, all these are very important.
All right, thank you. What about you, Sankara?
Yeah, so so what I would say is that like being prepared like beforehand definitely helps. So like if you know at least the basic concepts of networking and stuff that you should know at the finger of like tips of your fingers, basically, that having that knowledge beforehand helps. And so last minute, what I did was coding. So like Preeti said, you need to practice a lot of coding. So that's why, like when I mentioned about Leetcode, if you start beforehand and you solve at least like 100 to 100 questions beforehand, you'll already have that much practice that you've done beforehand. So, and interviews just sneak up on you, trust me, because you most of the time you don't even know you will whether you'll get an interview or not. So I do understand that you don't have like a weeks of time to study. You'll probably have to get it scheduled within a day or so, and then in that duration, having had done enough practice does help. So mock interviews do help a lot. So I had taken a lot of mock interviews. Like as in, I told a lot of my like my friends to just ask me questions out of the blue. Even sometimes, even while like sitting for lunch, let's say in the library and stuff, we used to discuss coding questions. Let's say another friend of yours had got some question in their interview. You can just talk to them, discuss with them about what questions were asked in their interviews. So that's how you try to think analytically at any point of time, because in interviews, again, at least in network specific interviews, most of the time you'll have partial network related questions, like networking related questions, and partially coding. So definitely there will be a section where you'll be asked at least one or two coding questions. So for that, one thing I noticed is generally you have a lot of bit manipulation kind of questions, because networking involves a lot of bit manipulation in general. So that's something maybe you can look into. Yeah, and discussing with peers, giving mock interviews goes a long way in helping, especially in that short duration.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Like, I would like to ask you all, like, you guys are mentioning about the coding rounds and coding questions they ask in the interview, but what type of, like, what level of coding expertise they expect from us, like from network engineers? As can you please elaborate on that?
So yeah, I've given my fair share of interviews in big companies as well as like pure networking companies. So if you look at companies like Microsoft or Uber or Amazon, or Google, so they will ask you Leetcode, medium, and hard questions only. So probably they won't even care much that whether you know networking concepts or not, but you need to know like Leetcode, medium, and hard questions for sure, because like some of the questions I got was so difficult, and especially when you try to code them in C, it will take you like a lifetime. So okay, yeah, so this is something that this is like an interesting point to note, is that so if you're good at Python, it will definitely help you, especially for the coding rounds for these big companies. So I would say that if you are really interested in cracking like the big, I think they call it FANG, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. If you really want to get into these companies, and Microsoft as well, then you should like be well versed in a like a pure object-oriented programming language like Python or C++, because C will just take up your entire time in just setting up the basic data structures and all of that. So yeah, so learn Python for the big companies. For the smaller companies, they usually target like C programming, especially the semiconductor companies. They are more interested in C programming kind of questions, where it will involve bit manipulation, some basic mathematical or arithmetic operation that needs to be done, or packet manipulation, packet handling, and questions like that. So yeah, again, it depends a lot on the company culture and the type of role they are hiring for. The bigger companies usually tend to stick to their set rules and procedures, so, like asking medium and hard lead code. The smaller companies, you can expect lead code easy questions as well. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, so in my case, when I got call back from Facebook through USC Career Fair, there was first round where it's only related to networking. You just have to answer multiple choice questions. That's the first round, networking. But the second round was with an engineer. It was so difficult. I think it was medium lead code question, and I'm trying to attempt it in C. Halfway through the call, I just want to disconnect. I don't know what to do. It was so horrible. That's when I realized, I thought, no, I am not prepared for this. And this was in September, and I have no idea. I don't know what to do. So that's when I actually started. It was so embarrassing that made me to easy lead code questions. I haven't gone till medium, but just saying, please do it. It's very helpful. And I also interviewed with Aruba Networks. I got Aruba Networks internship. That company asked me completely about networking, CCNA level, switches, routers, VLANs, all the different types of routing protocols. So there are two different types of applications. One is completely networking, and another is coding and networking. But if companies, you should be prepared for both, is what I would say. Prepare with 100% networking, because that's your strong hold. You know it. You are strong in networking. That's why you're in that field. You're doing masters in that. Coding is what you should work on, and you should know networking basics. Yeah.
Thank you, Preeti and Sankaradithyan. And I think we will wrap up now. Kathy, you would like to say something?
gonna ask if everyone can unmute yourself and just give our speakers today a round of applause. I know it is hard at times like this to give the in-person atmosphere, but if you can go just unmute yourself, and then we'll just like thank our speakers today.
I will see.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is the seminar that we try to provide these kind of information than just telling you what each technical item is. And I'm just here to advertise. Our next talk is on the 12th, next Monday. It's about a C++ talk hosted by a professor from a different department, but we believe that it will also very benefit a lot of our students in our department. And also, we would just like to thank you, all the speakers today. And well, good luck to Preeti for your last semester. And, thank you for Sanketi and Sankara to join us. And I'm sure, our department is trying to do a lot of networking, not the technical networking, but the real people networking with a lot of our alumni. So I hope we will get to see you at our various different events in the future. So yeah, thank you. And thank you, Tempe. You are like the key person tonight to make this thing happen. Yeah.
Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you, Sanketi. Thank you, Preeti. And thank you, Sankaradithyan, for accepting my invitation to come here. And Preeti, all the best to you for your last semester.
Thank you, Tanvi. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity.